world is ours. The 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 world is ours. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Khaled Sawa. We are here, and myself, Fabio as your host, and Khaled Sawa as your co-host. This is our newly aired, newly created podcast channel. The world is ours. I'm very delighted to have you, Cal. This is one of my very good friends. Thank you, my friend, and thank you to YouTube and all our viewers, and hopefully soon to be fans. The world is ours is a podcast basically entailing, the main thing is mentorship, leadership, and we have a broad range of conversation that we get into, myself and Khaled, on the daily, and we figured why not share that with you guys on the air. And that ranges from basically from entrepreneurship, business, to sports, to a little bit of politics and maybe some news between maybe some Hollywood icons or some famous stars. Like, it's a broad range of conversation, and the main thing that we emphasize and like to emphasize is equality and freedom of speech. And we definitely, it's a zero judgment zone here on the World Is Ours podcast, and we believe strongly that especially today in this day and age in 2025, that equality and freedom is more emphasized than ever. Once again, I'd like to introduce myself, Fabio, and my very good buddy here, Khaled Sawa. If you'd like to take the mic there, Khaled, and introduce yourself and where you came from, where you were born.
Awesome. I appreciate the introduction. Always good to see you, my good friend.
Thank you, my friend.
And this was a great idea that we had to put together. Took a while, take some time, take some stress.
A little while.
Yeah, you got to get the right equipment, everything set up correctly.
Most definitely.
Yes.
And that we did. We turned dreams to reality, and hopefully our fans and viewers can kind of follow our lead.
Correct. Lovely. So
right,
let me, yes.
Yeah, tell us where you were born, and maybe where you were born when you came to Windsor, your family, etc.
Yeah, well, I was born back home in Iraq, Baghdad, and born in a tent, no hospital, no nothing, because it was the time of the war, Iraq and Iran war.
Right.
Breastfed by 8 women.
Jeez.
That's why we are strong. But we had to do what we had to do because, survival mode. So
most definitely.
The mother can't keep up with feeding, with the breastfeeding. It's
right.
we're running away. So we're running away to
most
another
definitely.
Country, and it's a very scary and dangerous thing. People left a lot of people behind, a lot of children, it was basically, if one exposes us all, everybody dies. So some people had to make a very, very big sacrifice of leaving their children behind, which is,
well, everything comes with sacrifice, and I'm a strong believer in that.
They had to shut me up because we're in the mountains and the voice echoes. So as soon as they hear you trying to escape, they will come and there's no sorry. They know what you're doing. So it's over.
Most
for everybody.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, so you were under the impression that if you did stay, yourself and your brother there would have had to serve in the war. Is that true?
That is correct. So basically, when you're 18, you're automatically in the army. There's no yes, no, maybe, I'll let you know. No, it's only yes. So you're going to go regardless.
Mandated.
It's yes, because it is that, in that type of world over there, there's always war and stuff going on. So they have to be prepared, right? There's no there's going to be a war in 10 years from now. No. Every day they're prepared for it. So basically, my dad took us out of there. He didn't want us to go through that, just war. And he didn't want that for us, right? Because,
of course. Well, he wanted an opportunity, I think, and safety for the family, right?
For sure. Like when you had a family, you got married, it changed his whole mind state, right? Basically, from there, we went to Turkey. From Turkey, the UN got us and brought us here in 93. And I've been here ever since 1993. Basically, I'm almost fully Canadian. I am fully Canadian because
basically full Canadian citizen.
I don't know anything about back home.
Well, you were fairly young at that age when you guys fled.
Yeah, I was still newborn, right? So
And 1993 was when you had came to Canada.
Yes. So from 91, born there, and it took 2 years to get here. So it's quite a while. Yeah. So I've been raised here my whole life. Love it. Born, raised in Windsor. I love the city. Amazing. A lot of ups and downs it had.
Of course, of course. Like we
Yes,
had, a lot of inclines and declines, and like
correct.
last time was in 2008, and I think we faced that again now in 2019, 2020. Right? I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
Usually happens every 10 years, usually. But in this case, I think it was about 12 years since our last economical collapse and decline. I mean, every up there's a down, and vice versa. Right? So
Yes. Yeah. So basically, raised here my whole life. Started in St. Francis School. Graduated from Holy Names. Finished there, and just been out here and a lot of opportunities here. So
of course,
I pretty
of course,
much
it's land of the
bounced around.
opportunity.
Yeah, it's a lot of opportunities. Like for example, a lot of football stars are from Windsor as well,
Right.
and that's a
Well,
good.
our most recent was from our school, actually, from Holy Names High School,
Yeah.
Theo Johnson. So shout
Yep.
out to Theo
Theo.
Johnson and the New York
Congrats.
Giants. Congratulations.
Yeah. I mean,
He's
a
been
lot
he's
of
been outstanding.
yeah. We have a fantastic university here. We have Lancers,
Most
the
definitely.
University of Windsor. It's a very known and popular university. A lot of people from all over the world come to the university here.
Right.
And so I mean, there's lots of opportunities here. Just take advantage. It's a small
Well, we're a
city.
border
Just
city too. Like, Rose City, Windsor is a border city, and actually, we just not too long ago, actually, the Gordie Howe Bridge was finally built. Now, I think it's supposed to open in 2026, from my understanding. So
yes,
that's something to look forward to. Jobs, of course, will be created. Like we were
yes,
discussing before, the mega hospital that's supposed to be coming. I don't know definitively when, but things to look forward to, right? The battery plant, like we discussed earlier as well, Khaled.
yes,
That's another plus. Hopefully for everybody, an optimistic mindset and approach. Something to look forward
correct,
to, right?
correct.
Now tell us a little bit about your father. Now what does he do for a living? And when he came to Canada, was that what he did initially, or was it something different, or kind of give us a little breakdown on, we'll start with
Yeah,
our fathers, both our fathers. We'll start with Amir, your father, and then Danny, my father, and we'll go from there.
for sure. Yeah, when we came here, he doesn't even know no English. There's no one here to help him. At that time, 93, there wasn't too many of our, like my culture here, anybody to help out. So it was kind of like he was alone. So he had to figure out himself. And he ended up getting, jobs at gas stations, serving the pumps, gas jobs because
Right.
he's not,
That was in
he
demand
doesn't have, yes.
as
And
well.
he didn't have the paperwork to be completely here, like working, like by check,
Right.
government. But I mean, he did what he had to do. And yeah, he worked in stores and everywhere. And then eventually he opened up his own gas station. And then from the gas station, he started doing truck driving. And the truck driving was a successful thing for him. And truck driving was very, very, very good before COVID, pre-COVID.
Most definitely.
Yeah, it just shut it down, right? So he had to find a different career now, opportunity, and he went to Lafarge pouring cement. He's a
Right.
driver.
Right. Not foreign hustler. It
Yeah,
sounds
and
like
he's
he did
just
what he had to do.
oh yeah, just working since he got here. He's been working. My father. I mean, I've never seen him not work. When he didn't
Right.
work, it was just because he took it off. And like hats off to them. They went through a lot, right, to get us to
Definitely.
where we are
Tip
now.
my hat to them for sure. And then
For
it's something you
sure,
idolize as well as at the time a young adolescent
for
boy,
sure.
and even to this day as a man, it's something that our fathers paved the way, and in a way we're essentially our coaches and mentors as well. And so we both tip our hats to them,
Yep.
and it's something that we value and appreciate, both myself and Khaled, and hopefully for our viewers out there and our fans, it's again, value your family. Family's number one.
Number one.
And even our younger viewers there, and you guys, we understand at a young age, the last thing we want to do is hang out with our friends, hang out with our families. That's the last thing at a young age that we wanted to do. Later on in life, you kind of realize that's, friends are great, don't get me wrong, but family's number one. And it's a very important thing to be close with the family and put family first. And friends, to me, like friends, I don't look at friends, like the term friends. I think more or less for myself, if you're a boy or a girl, you're a brother or sister to me. I don't really believe in the word friends. I believe in family only. And like yourself, it's more of a brother than a friend, I would
Yes.
consider, right? So it's just a term that, like friends, I mean, you're either family or not, right? So you're either a
Pretty
brother,
much.
sister to me, or not, or just an acquaintance, right? So
For sure.
it's kind of something that I've always lived by and always kind of believed in and kind of I guess, referred to as family. So a buddy is family to me, more or less, and I would rather call them that than a friend. For all the young boys and girls out there, family is number one. Value your family, and don't forget where you came from. Fathers and mothers are mentors, and we need to value that, I think, more than ever. And we see it all the time. These younger gens out there, last thing they want to do is hang out with the family or be with the family, but value them. They're not here for a long time, and before it's too late, hopefully they live forever, but before it's too late, it's important to value your mother, father, siblings, aunts, uncles, grandparents, because we don't live forever, unfortunately, and while they're here, we need to value them. So basically, Amir, your father, Khaled, and my father, Danny, like they have very similar mindsets in ways where, they're workhorses. I've never really, it's very odd where I've seen my dad take a day off, or unless there was a shutdown or a layoff, or other than that, it was every day like clockwork. And seeing that's something that we should all idolize. He started 30 plus years ago at Ford Motor Company. He got his degree as well, but at that time, like they were booming. The big three, we had Ford, we had Chrysler, GM. Both myself and Khaled, we definitely look at that as a blessing to be able to come out of post-secondary education and to be able to get a very great paying job, and that they did, and great benefits, great pension. And I was blessed to have that until the 25 great benefits, health benefits, and from going to the dentist to medical, that was all covered. And you look back at it, and it's like, if you didn't have that, and there are families that don't have that, unfortunately, it's something that we appreciate and we show gratitude to and value, most definitely. And we're thankful for. But back in the day, it was a little bit different. Right? We had Ford, we had Chrysler, GM here in Windsor, and I mean, it's an automotive city. It's a blue collar city, small city, Windsor, but we had like all three companies were booming. And again, we had our little collapse there in 2008, but they bounced back. They came back, and that's exactly why I said the little decline that we've had now since COVID. I think just like our neighbors next door, they are great again. So I mean, I don't see why we can't reciprocate. And then, like I said before, it starts with head office. Like, we're not going to get into politics too much, but it does start with head office, and there's always hope. And you got to have a very optimistic mindset when it comes to these kind of things and these kind of subjects. But again, all of us make up the world. So it does start with each individual and our approach to society, like to the world and the society that we live in nowadays. Like, they didn't have internet back in the day like we did. Right. They didn't have like computers, way different nowadays than it was back in the day. So if they were able to do it and they were able to succeed, especially your father there coming from back home, Khaled, and like you said, working in the certain sectors that he did, there's no reason that
zero.
Right, scratch. Coming with nothing to having what they have today. And my father as well, with like his father coming from back home, right, from Italy, they came with literally nothing, and they made something for themselves as well as their families. So no excuse, right? There's no excuse. There's no excuse in this world that would tell me that you can't do it. It starts within, and you can only change you, and you can only beat you. Right. And I think procrastination is a very common thing nowadays. I'm not saying that, solely the younger gens. I'm saying just in general, it seems like it's very common where somebody doesn't have something or didn't do something and they're pointing fingers at others. I think it's appropriate to take blame or fault if you're not doing something or didn't do something. It starts within. Like, you can only change you. If you want to do it, you'll do it. If you don't want to do it, it won't happen. It's not going to just fall from the sky or just be given to you. So, and that's where our families, fathers, mothers, that's the mindset they have. That's the mindset that their mothers and fathers had when they came to this country. So they followed suit. We're following suit. And it's the same thing with the younger generations here that are watching and viewing our channel. It's something that we have the ability to do nowadays on this platform on YouTube. And that we're going to do. We're mentoring, we're leading, and we're basically setting the bar, leading by example on this platform and on social media. And that's another reason why we created this channel. And like I said, the number one thing is mentorship, leadership. But like I said, we'll sit around and shoot the shit, talk sports, a little bit about politics, not too much. We don't talk about religion. That's one thing. We'll have guests on here. We'll have interviews as well. Basically, just a very broad range of topics that we talk about every day, that everybody talks about every day. So I think it's appropriate, and I think it's a long time coming. But again, anybody and everybody will have their own say, will have their own freedom of speech. If there's 1,000 comments on our channel, we will answer. We will give you guys the freedom to speak, to be heard, and questions will be answered. So I think that's appropriate. And especially in this day and age, it's more accepted than ever to be different, to ask questions, right? To maybe not know something. Like, you don't stop learning until you die, really. Like, you're learning every day. You're learning, or you should be learning something new every day. And as a young child, like, we're a sponge. And I've continued to have that mindset up until the age that I am now, right? We're constantly learning. You don't stop learning. If you think you know it all, you don't. Like, I know a lot. I don't know it all. Every day I try to learn something new, especially with the internet, the devices we have, computers, tablets, phones, right? So we got to utilize those tools and devices to have the ability and to make a point to learn something new every day. That's a very important thing. I think, yeah, we're scrolling on news feeds and watching reels or watching videos on YouTube. That's great, but make a point to learn something new every day and to try to gain wisdom and educate yourself. I mean, one thing a day. It's not much to ask. It's not much to do. Just learning one thing a day new, and just to be able to say to yourself, I learned this today. That's a huge step forward and a huge step in the right direction. Like I said, our parents didn't have that back in the day, and they still turned out great. So we have that nowadays. We need to utilize that nowadays. And we need to, if we're searching things online or watching things online, at least one of those things should be educational and nourishing to the mind. And that will help you better yourself as well as your future.
Absolutely. Well said.
Right.
Yes.
Now,
Also,
go ahead, Cal.
Also, you have to be very careful of what you see online these days, because there's the false reality and there's the real reality. So
most definitely, especially nowadays with the AI and all that.
Yeah, this is why a lot of people are not lost, but thrown off and don't know what to do.
Confused.
On our time, it was like, I want to be a basketball player. That was it. Done. I want to be this. Now it's like, I want to be this. 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 I want to be this.
I think people are more confused than ever nowadays.
Yeah.
Because there's so much in front of their eyes that they see on their phones, on their tablets, on the computers. Correct. They're just overwhelmed.
Yeah. Correct. That's why I always tell people, before you jump on social media and do all these things, find out who you are first, what you want to do first, figure it out, and then jump on here and use what you know and what you've learned and put it on the platform. Stop learning from other people and what you see
compare yourself to who you were. I think compare yourself to who you were yesterday, and not compare yourself to others or what you see on social media. It's about you. Compare yourself to you and compare yourself to who you were yesterday, and look at the improvements that you made. Don't look at others. Don't look at what they're doing. You can have others basically, they can kind of act as inspiration, I think. But as for you comparing yourself to them every day, I don't think that's the correct approach. So I say this to our young followers and our young fans out there: compare yourself to who you were yesterday, right? We're not looking at like girls, Kim Kardashian. We're not looking at the comparison of a lady here in for example, in our hometown. And we're not looking at, we're not saying to not idolize. We're saying to just compare yourself to yourself, right? If you're inspired by something or someone, boys as well, if you're inspired by an athlete, or inspired by a certain famous icon in Hollywood, maybe, or maybe a famous music icon, that's fine. If you say you're a good musician, that's fine. And you can be inspired by that, but at the same time, compare yourself to yourself and the day before versus today, the present time, the growth that you made. Don't compare yourself to somebody out there that's been famous for years and is making millions of dollars, like, because it's overwhelming, and at the same time, it doesn't sit well. Like, it just kind of fogs your mind set up, to be honest. And that's where we start feeling a little bit down, when we start comparing ourselves to people that really we shouldn't be. We use that as inspiration, use that as a tool to grow. And I think that will help a lot of our younger generations. It's a very important thing.
Absolutely.
Right. Now, we're city boys. Like I said, we born and raised in Windsor, Ontario, a small city. We're border to Detroit, Michigan. right? So, we have the ability to cross, and it's a few minutes away, and we're able to go see, the Detroit Lions, the Pistons, Detroit Pistons, the Detroit Red Wings. Like, it's all right there. Now we have a second bridge coming. We have a tunnel as well. So as small as Windsor is, and I think we haven't gotten that much credit as citizens from Windsor and Windsor in general, I think we're always kind of not devalued, but I mean, we're just not, like you look at Toronto, Hamilton, London, these are bigger cities, white collar cities. I think Windsor just doesn't sometimes get enough credit, maybe underrated in a way, but the Rose City is a great place to be, great place to live. I mean, we're 10, 15 degrees warmer than our northern cities and bigger cities. And we're a border city too. Like, the next city that has a border would be Toronto. And that's, 4 hours away. You got Buffalo on the other side. But other than that, Windsor is a border city. And we got to value that, right? Like I said, we're on a small decline. We understand that right now. Our unemployment rate is higher, than usual. But like I said, in '08, we had that as well. And it's part of the way the world turns, right? So to every up, there's a down, and vice versa. So we need to channel all that into positive energy. And again, we're barbers by day. I own my own barbershop, and I've owned it for about 12 years. And went from apprenticing at a barbershop to renting a chair. And then eventually I got inspired by the owner of the barbershops that I worked at. And I saw how they ran things. I studied, I analyzed, right? I learned from the people around me, and especially the owner. That's who I idolized mainly. Like, there was 8, 9 barbers at the first barbershop I worked at, but the main person I was eyeing and idolizing was the owner. And it worked out in my favor where he worked. Like, initially, when I moved in to the first barbershop and started at the first barbershop, they put me right next to the owner. His chair was right next to mine. And that was a great way to be able to learn, idolize. And he was a great mentor as well. So I tip my hat to him, and thank everybody for the journey, because, we're talking over a decade that I've been in this industry, and I've owned my own barbershop. And once you make that leap as an entrepreneur, and that's another main topic, is entrepreneurship, right? In this podcast channel, entrepreneurship, like I said, is a main topic, and is going to be a very big topic. And a lot of our discussions are going to pertain to entrepreneurship. And that's another thing that I think our young viewers and listeners and fans will, I think, be driven to, and will entice them to watch and tune in to our podcast channel, The World Is Ours. So again, Windsor, we are more than happy and grateful to have been, like myself, actually born in this city, Cal, to have emigrated to this city. And we wouldn't change that for anything. And we thank our families for first of all, creating us and guiding us and mentoring us in the ways that they did. The hard-nosed approach that they had, you won't understand that, I think, till you're a little bit older, and you won't value and thank your parents for the way they disciplined you and the hard-nosed approach, maybe from your fathers. But to be honest, for the younger gens that are tuning in, it's a way of guiding and molding and properly mentoring, right? So, your parents, when they get angry with you, or they might yell at you, they might get a little tough with you. That's only because it's tough love, right? That's only because they care, and you're not going to see that from.
It's a good thing.
It's a blessing, and we don't realize that until we're older. And again, there's a reason they do it. It's tough love. That's what it is. But at the same time, like, we both had it, myself and Khaled, and we're now at this age. We're now thankful for it, and we wouldn't change that for nothing.
Yes, sir.
Now, I think our next topic here, I would have to say, Khaled, is just basically kind of enlighten us on the Rose City in general. I think we're, like you were mentioning before. I know you said something about a stadium. It's tough to. I think it's tough to have a major league team here in this city. We have the WFCU Center and the Windsor Spitfires. I know Cal was mentioning in our discussion off air. He was mentioning about having a major league team one day. I mean, that'd be great. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah.
It's just at this point, I just, it's Windsor's it's a small city, and it's amazing that Toronto has a major league basketball team. But I know you mentioned something about maybe having a football team, Khaled.
Yes. So
and that was a great idea. If you'd like to elaborate on that.
Yeah. So basically, what I was speaking to you about earlier was we have the new bridge that they built here, and yes, Windsor is very small, tight. It's completed. It wasn't built. It wasn't built. Like, the way it's designed, the way it's built, it wasn't made for, like, the way it is now. Like you have the population is more, a lot of people, more traffic. You know that back then when I used to go to
Right.
work, the roads were empty. There was even like during like rush hour, there was you can get
Right.
home in 2 minutes. Now it's bumper to bumper.
Yeah. Our
What I was
population's a little higher than it
yes,
was before.
yes. So I believe we should have one because we have a Toronto team, a basketball team, which is
Right.
that's a big league, right? So
Right.
even if we don't have it here in Windsor, I mean, you go like
Well,
10
even if
minutes,
like
20.
for our Spitfires, right? Let's talk about the Spitfires and what we
Correct.
had like, back in the day. We had the barn there downtown, and just the location, for example. Like now we have the WFCU Center, and that's in Far East in Windsor. I think a great venue. You know, it's a beautiful place, but I think the only downside is the fact it's not downtown anymore. And
I just feel like they don't promote themselves to the city a lot to bring people in.
right,
It's just I
right,
know it's
to the
there, but
downtown area.
yes, so it's athletic. It's athletic places, and now they should be drawing people more to that place. Because when I came back here to Windsor, I went on vacation, came back. I didn't know they opened it, and that was open there, like the center
Right.
there, right? I did not
Right.
know that at
I
all.
just saw the barn, like the old stadium there. I saw that shut down, and then
Yeah,
it took me a little while to finally figure out that they had relocated to the WFCU Center
correct.
in the east side of Windsor.
Yes,
Again, I wasn't kind of confused as to why they had relocated out that way. But
yeah.
back to your point about having a stadium in Windsor, I think that would be a start, is to maybe bring it back
Fantastic
to our
idea.
downtown area.
I mean, like, okay, even if Windsor's, they can't build it here in Windsor. You got LaSalle, you got Amherstburg, right?
Right.
So
Right.
now, basically, LaSalle, they just started building it not too long ago. Like all these things, all these new homes and apartments. So they're booming. So out there, there's lots of field, lots of space, lots of acres, lots of things going on there. So they can build it, 15 minutes away from the city, whatever it is, which is fine. And I believe that would be a great idea because the new bridge will attract more tourists, more
Most definitely.
opportunities. And it's a fantastic idea. I just think there's a lot of very well athletic people here, a lot of people that are not
Most definitely.
heard a lot because we do have a voice, but we don't
Right.
have that voice of like say Toronto because it's a big city, right? So in
Right.
Toronto, if you do
Right.
something, boom, things go viral. People hear about everything.
Right.
In Windsor here, I don't know why it's so like quiet about. I don't know why, but that depends on the people that are in the city. Honestly, everything that's been happening, I'm sorry, off track, is because of this pandemic of the drugs.
Yeah.
You can
Most
see all these.
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a good thing.
It's an outbreak.
Yeah, it's an outbreak, and a lot of people are. I don't know why they're.
I think
sedating
a
themselves.
cleanup of the city before
Yes,
ever bringing back like a stadium in our team, like our Windsor Spitfires. I think the city in general has to be, the downtown area needs to be cleaned up
correct.
before anything. And
I mean,
I
to
don't
be
know if
honest
that's
with
why
you,
they did that. I don't know if that's why they relocated out to the east end. I don't know, but that's got to be corrected before ever bringing a team or a stadium back into the downtown area of Windsor.
correct.
But I mean, you see it everywhere. Like I'm not going to say Windsor
Yeah,
is the only place that has that issue.
it's everywhere.
It happens everywhere. So
Yeah,
it's just the bigger cities, you don't notice it, I think, as much versus a smaller city like Windsor. You have a massive city like Toronto, you're not really gonna. You don't see it as much, and you don't notice it as much versus like Windsor that's got 300,000 plus people, right? And a lot
I believe
smaller.
it's more now because
I think we're definitely we're I know it's 300 plus. I don't know exactly how much, but I mean, we like back in the day, we were like 10 years ago, we were about 250,000 people back in the day. So
yeah,
we've definitely grown a lot, and a lot of immigration has came down this way. Again, it's a blessing. We're not
for sure,
degrading or talking down on that,
for
but
sure.
the jobs will come, and all these things that are to come will create more jobs to come. So optimistic approach and positivity. That's exactly the proper mindset to have, and especially for the younger, once again, the younger viewers out there, to be optimistic and to be positive. I think that's the best way to be. And tough times don't last. Tough people do. So you guys got to
For sure.
have that proper mindset, and you have to definitely program your mind to think that way. A rainy day goes away and sunshine comes, and the rainbow follows. And that's the
For
same
sure.
thing when it comes to mindset, right? And change starts within, and only you can beat you. We've already said that before, but we're going to emphasize that more than ever to our younger gens and our younger viewers and fans.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, just to put my last 2 cents in there. This is what I see a lot of people that are successful in Windsor. They end up leaving the city and they go to a bigger city and they promote those bigger cities. There's nobody here that's like, say for example, like Tyrone Crawford, these the kid from Holy Names now, what's it?
Luke Wilson,
yes, right?
Luke Wilson and Theo Johnson there.
Yes. Now I believe it's their duty and their job now to promote the city and put it on and
Most definitely
push things to come this way. So
I know like Tyrone and Luke Wilson have done certain things.
For sure. I'll never take away for sure.
Just a little bit more, and I think Theo to follow would be greatly appreciated.
Yes. So I just feel like it takes a lead for someone to continue. Like, for example, if I was that successful, become an NFL star, I would come back here and, I would figure out things for the community and what to do. Like I said, that WFCU community, the center, it's very quiet. Like, I don't know why it's a very quiet thing. Like I said, they should be promoting, like it's very quiet. I sometimes I forget that it even exists here. A lot of people say they're going to go play basketball. I said, where? And they say WFCU. I said, oh, that's the place. I remember again about it, right? So
I said I didn't know it existed for a little while until I actually found out later on.
Yes, and honestly, we're a very strong, tough city because our neighbors are Detroit.
Definitely.
What Detroit did, we did. What we do, Detroit.
Well, they had the unemployment rate too at one point, right? Like they had,
we're similar for sure.
Unemployment rate, like their economy was down, like they're booming now. And
absolutely,
the LH family, for example, came in and cleaned up the streets and the economy. Now with obviously their head there in office, Mr. Donald J. Trump, like he's doing what he can as well to make them great again. And so, I mean, if they can do it, we can do it, and every other country at the same time can do it. And like we said, yes, it starts in head office. We understand that, but it also starts with us as individuals. Each and every one of us makes up the world. And so every individual person and what we do contributes to us as a whole and as a country, right? So
100%.
Because you don't like somebody in office or you don't like something political doesn't mean that you don't have to, at the end of the day, contribute and be great. Like, to have a great country, you have to have great people at the same time too. Like I said, not main office. It's not the only, it's a major part, yes, but each individual person makes up this country. Each individual Canadian citizen makes up this country.
Sorry, Fab. Well, that's the thing nowadays. It's all about feelings and if you like the person or not. It's basically, you got to look at what he stands for and what is his, what do they call that word?
Views, mindsets.
His way of seeing things, right? And Donald Trump is a very businessman, very smart man.
Yeah, he might not have a filter. We understand that, or might say things a little bit differently. We understand that.
It's fine. Yeah, it's perfectly fine with the guy. I find it hilarious, humorous, and something different. The president is it's completely different,
opinion, right?
Yes.
We all have, and that's where what we said earlier was everybody's opinion counts. Everybody's views
for sure
count, and we're not here to judge, or we're not here to tell you you're wrong or you're right. Like, you have the right to say how you feel and project how you feel, and that's where the comment section is. Like, you guys are able to comment and kind of give your opinions and make yourself heard. That's what YouTube is. It's all of us individuals in this world. That's what makes up YouTube. And whether you're just a content creator, you're an influencer, or just a viewer, you're all valued. And without myself, you, Khaled, and everybody else on that platform, there wouldn't be a YouTube. So don't think that you're not heard or you're not valued or your opinion doesn't matter. Right. And like we said before, the last thing we do is judge. We're a zero judgment zone. And I think that's the best way to be into approach in general, especially on this platform and as a podcast channel and as hosts. That's our number one priority is to mentor, lead, and to never judge. Right. That's nobody likes to be judged. So why judge? Right? Like, it's if somebody judges somebody but doesn't like to be judged, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't add up. So if you don't want to be judged, why judge somebody else? Right? It's just something that doesn't need to be done. And more than ever, in 2025 nowadays, everybody's equal. We all command. And there's, whether there was, two sexes back in the day and now there's several sexes, it doesn't really matter. We should all be accepted and all be valued and all be heard. And everybody's opinion should be valued, listened to, and not judged. So that's what we're here to do. That's what basically the World Is Ours podcast channel is. Like we said before, it's a place to express yourself. It's a place to basically feel free, be heard. It's like I said, we have a broad range of topics that we'll discuss, a broad range of different, like interviews with different people that we know, entrepreneurs, maybe a couple of politicians in our city. Hopefully, we can get the chance to maybe interview one of our athletes from the city, whether it's Tyrone Crawford, whether it's Luke Wilson, or our newest there, Theo Johnson from Holy Names. We're working on it, and like we said before, it's something that we thought was a long time coming. And we created this podcast channel to be able to express ourselves as well, and not only mentor the younger gens, but to basically have our own voice on air and to be able to express ourselves as individuals, myself and Khaled. So that's what the World Is Ours podcast channel is. We hope that we have several people subscribing to it. I mean, it's free to subscribe, and it's easy to unsubscribe if there's something you might not like or might not want to see, or which we highly doubt. But at the same time, never know. Everybody has different opinions, but it's free to subscribe. It's free to unsubscribe. So make sure to, at least give us, you give a chance to things in life. That's one thing. You can't judge a book by its cover. I'm not going to say I'm not guilty of that. Like back, when I was younger, I used to do that. I used to judge by the cover instead of reading the book. And I realized later on in life that I was wrong, like 99.9% of the time. So you got to give things a chance in life. And not everything is not what you see is not everything. And at the same time, we have eyes and ears for a reason. So what you see is not always what you might hear. Most of the time it is different. That's what the World Is Ours podcast entails. And you've now met myself as well as Khaled. We're quite happy today, to be honest. We had a win from the Detroit Lions.
Mm-hmm.
They played Dallas, the Dallas Cowboys, and they did quite well. They actually were coming in on, I believe they had lost one game coming into it. So the Detroit Lions were 7-5, and they lost actually the last game. But you know what? Dallas, again, both Dallas and Detroit, they had to win that game. And to be honest, it was a very important game for the both of them. And we'll tip our hats to Detroit. They did damn good job winning 44-30. Coming in at
well done.
Step 5. Yes. So
shout out Detroit.
Yes, sir. Now 8-5, and Dallas Cowboys are now 6-1. So it looks like the Lions stepped it up, and they had a huge victory.
Yes. And
that kept Detroit's playoff hopes alive. They had their backs against the wall. The Lions offense, they really went to war, and they came alive at Ford Field. They held off the ferocious Cowboys.
Yep.
The victory now actually improves their chances to 53%. So prior to that game, if they would have lost that game, and this is for both teams, if they would have lost that game, both Dallas and Detroit, they both actually would have been, and it would have actually dropped their percentage of making it to the playoffs would have dropped to below 20%. Okay. So, Amon-Ra St. Brown, he set out, he was a stud, and we actually weren't sure that he was going to play or not, but it turned out last minute that he strapped it up, and he was he played a big role, and it was a big impact that he had on the win that they had. It looks like what he had, I think it was, so basically 92-yard performance. So the biggest contribution was at the end of both halves, to be honest. And he caught a key pass there on a Lions scoring drive. And that included a 37-yarder up their running back, Jahmyr Gibbs. And that was actually his third rushing touchdown. So we'll tip our hats to Jahmyr Gibbs. He also caught 7 passes for 77 yards as well, Jahmyr Gibbs. So, they have that dynamic duo, the two-headed monster, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. So once again, it's looking like the Cowboys' playoff chances took a major hit as well in that loss. And actually, they lost CeeDee Lamb, their best receiver as well.
Yep.
Unfortunately, but fortunately, then that's depending on who you're a fan of.
Yes.
Once again, great victory for the Detroit Lions. So
beautiful game they played as well. Very, very good game.
They really killed it, to be honest. Now we're gonna go over some stats. So, like their defense, like we were talking before the game, myself and Khaled, they basically had to force Dak Prescott to become one dimensional.
Yes,
playing that like you were discussing, Cal, with the two-headed monster that Dallas has, CeeDee Lamb, as well as their other receiver there, George Pickens, like to stop them. They had to play that cover zone coverage, and they had to pressure the quarterback. And to be honest, they did just that. And to be honest, that's what makes that's what made Dak Prescott uncomfortable. And that's, again, what I think led him, a big reason why they won that game. And that's what led him to that win.
Yes. And that's what we were speaking about before, prior to the game. We're saying Detroit Lions needs to step up more on their the defense as well.
Right.
They have a very good defense, but they ended up sacking the quarterback quite a lot. So that was good.
Right.
And the main thing was covering the receivers. And
right.
That was another thing that they had to work on both the offense and defense. They had to work on both.
Right.
And they did a fantastic job. The running back, fantastic job they did. And I mean, Dallas is not an easy team. Good
to be honest, like CeeDee Lamb's, he actually, like he was carving up the Lions secondary there for a little while with 6 catches and 121 yards.
121-yard game, yeah.
So you're right.
He ended up leaving with a concussion as well. So that's
yes, yeah. Wow. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to say that they completely stopped their passing game. Like Dak Prescott, he's still pretty stellar. It just so happened where late in the second half, you know, and unfortunately, he went out with that injury, that concussion. But I mean, Dak Prescott was still 31 of 47, 376 yards and a touchdown and 2 interceptions. Again, like the initial recipe, like we had discussed, was, you know, shut that passing game down, pressure that quarterback and cause him to become one-dimensional. They didn't quite do that, to be honest. But like we said, it became a shootout, an offensive shootout. But then at that point, that's, you know, eventually, CeeDee Lamb did go out with an injury. And I think that's kind of what costed the Dallas Cowboys, you know, that game. So once again, you know, great performance by the Detroit Lions. And, you know, I think it did help a lot too with the return of and Ross St. Brown as well. Like he kind of lights out.
Yes, very good. They did very good.
Yeah. He went, let me see.
Don't forget the Dallas with the kicker from the 3.
Yeah. 60, I think it was 63 or 68 yards.
Wow, that was amazing.
Yeah. So
does that not top up the record?
It's one of the further ones, I believe. Let me see. So his longest was, I believe that might have been the longest, longest was 66 yards.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was just short.
That was in a preseason. Yeah, it was in a preseason game against the Las Vegas Raiders. So, I mean, if you're talking regular season, I believe that was the longest field goal for him.
Yes.
For sure. Let's see here. So he basically made all 4 field goals and all 4 extra points, including a 64 yard field goal at the end of regulation and 46-yard game winner in overtime. So this was actually the only NFL player with multiple successful 60-yard field goals. So yeah, he's a stud, definitely a stud.
Very good.
And Aubrey for the Dallas Cowboys. So we give credit where earned, and I think he earned that for sure.
Yeah,
all around. Like I said, even Dak Prescott, you know, 31 of 47, 376 yards and a touchdown, right? And I think if he had CeeDee Lamb for the entire game, that would have been
for sure,
you know, probably most likely higher. But nevertheless, we're still going to give credit. Win's a win. And the Detroit Lions, they initially, like, I think everybody was kind of counting them out from the previous week's performance there on Thanksgiving. But you know, they showed up and they showed out once again. Congratulations to the Detroit Lions.
I mean, we do have 2 injuries we have Thomas Harper and Brian Branch. They got hurt late in the 4th quarter, one of them. Hopefully they're back and healthy. So that's a major.
That's the main thing.
Those are major 2 players as well.
Yeah, it shows
lots of injuries.
That's exactly it, and that's what every team doesn't want to happen. And unfortunately, you can't control that. That's another thing. But I mean, you know, you look at scoring. You know, the first quarter, I believe. So the Lions in the first quarter, they outscored the Dallas Cowboys 10-3. Second quarter, they had outscored the Dallas Cowboys 10-6. But in the third quarter, the Dallas Cowboys outscored the Lions 10-7. Finally, in the fourth quarter, the Lions outscored the Cowboys 17-11. Dak Prescott, once again, 31 of 47, 376 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. And then when you look at Jared Goff's performance, he was 25 of 34, 309 yards, and a touchdown.
Yes.
Both run games. for both teams were under 100 yards. A lot more passing than running for sure for both teams. Like CeeDee Lamb was targeted 8 times, and he actually caught the ball 100. He caught the ball 6 times for 121 yards versus Williams for Detroit, and he had caught 7 catches for 96 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 6 catches for 92 yards. Gibbs out of the backfield, 7 receptions, 77 yards. And Tesla, 2 receptions for 20 yards. And then back to Dallas, you had Flurney, 9 receptions for 115 yards. Ferguson, 5 receptions for 58 yards. And Pickens, 5 receptions for 37 yards. So a lot of passing last night and successful passing. Once again, they didn't quite shut down the offense of Dallas, but I think it was a shootout is what it was, and they won that shootout, the Detroit Lions. I think credit were earned, and we're doing exactly that. So
let's go Lions,
go blue, go blue. So now their chances of making, I believe it came to, I believe it's 60%, the chances of the Detroit Lions to make the playoffs now.
This should get them fired up. This should get them fired up, and
most definitely.
Hopefully they do what they do.
Right. 54% chance after the Thursday night game versus the Cowboys. The next gen stats, they're usually never wrong. We'll definitely take that into consideration, and it's a win mentality from here on out.
Absolutely.
I don't think they can afford more losses. Their odds definitely greatly improved. The Detroit Lions after that win, after that victory, and they play. Let me see here.
They are playing.
They play they play next. They play the Rams.
That's a tough game
in Los Angeles. That's December 14th at 4:25 p.m.
That's going to be a battle.
That's another shootout, most definitely. And you got the X's there. You got Matt Stafford, the quarterback for LA, and Jared Goff, the quarterback for the Detroit Lions, playing their X teams. That should be quite interesting. Once again,
maybe we can do a nice live while that's playing, and we just
yeah, most definitely we'll do maybe a live stream for that. Most definitely,
that would be great.
I don't see why not. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And once again, we thank you for tuning in to The World Is Ours. And once again, your host, Fabio Biafore, and my good buddy here, co-host, Khaled Sawa. We appreciate you and value you.
Always.
Thank you again, guys, and have yourselves a wonderful night. And don't forget, it's free to subscribe. So swipe up and subscribe to our channel. And like we said, if you don't like what you see, then it's free to subscribe. It's also free to unsubscribe. So no harm, no foul. We appreciate you again and appreciate your support. And thank you, YouTube, for making all this possible for us podcasters out here. And have yourselves a wonderful night.
Thank you for having me here today as well, Fab.
Subscribe. You're welcome, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate it. Subscribe, my friends. Thank you so much.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We appreciate you and we value you guys. Ciao.